Guys, deluded. Someone asked me to picture myself and talk about how I'd like to be as a manager or a youth coach or something like that if I had a crop of players. Well, if I put myself in my coach's hands, either I don't want to say governments in that, but my youth coaches, they had us for a number of years. Like, it weren't just they were coaching for a year or something. So if I put myself in their shoes and I was coaching a set of boys from the ages of around 7, 8 to essentially 16, I'd like to think I'd be a bit like Wenger and a bit like Jose in the sense that I'm not gonna kid any punches and throw you lot. The team I used to play for, we knew society was against certain demographics. We knew the role we played in society. We knew the things we were gonna come up against. All of us were taught that before we even left the house to come play football. A lot of that was reminded. I've told you guys how we used to play football in some certain areas, and you definitely knew it was a certain demographic versus a certain demographic. So we knew we had to have a certain togetherness away from this football thing to the point where it's some energy I can't really explain to you people. So there was that. I'd like to think I'd transmit that first and foremost to my team, regardless of whatever demographic they are, in the sense that we have to fight. We're fighting for our lives every time we're on that pitch. It's a microcosm of life. We ain't rich. We ain't no aristocrats. We're fighting limb by limb, tooth by tooth, breath by breath, pick by pick. We are fighting every day, and that's one thing that was drummed into us. Secondly, I'd like to think for that very reason I'd be sympathetic. My football team, one of my very coaches had certain life experiences. A lot of sadly, certain teammates that played for my team grew up, and if you live in North London, I'm going to say no names, but if you live in North London, there's certain areas that have been beefing long before me. They pick a side. They were celebrating once upon a time on the same pitch when someone scored a goal. Now they're trying to stab each other up. So these are the sort of things. So I'd be sympathetic. I'll try and preach to them that if you're not going to make it as football, it can save you lot. I ain't going to save everyone, but if I can save one person. So I'd be sympathetic to what people are going through, because I've seen some talented footballers go a different way because of the pressures of life. Ultimately, we all have to take responsibility for our own actions, and you can't blame other stuff. But to get where I'm going, I'd like to think I'd be sympathetic in the sense that, and a bit like Wenger in the sense that I can improve players. I like to think I have a keen eye to improve players. I like to think I don't give up on players if I see something in them. I like to think I have a footballer's best interests at heart. So yeah, I'd like to think I can improve players and make them grow technically, and I'd love to see them grow off and go off to academies. To be honest, but at the same time, I'd like to think I'd be calculated. Pardon my language, calculated as fuck, people, because again, because of certain society pressures, I must admit there's a nastiness in me, a calculatedness in me, and I want to transmit that to the team in the Jose stuff, siege mentality, us against the world. My team was nasty. We played on that. I was a small player. Like, I had to do certain things. Like, you think it's a small guy, I had to play on that short man syndrome stuff. You thought it was going to be easy days playing against me. Opening minute 50-50, I'm making sure I clamp you. It's not that party. You had to. Obviously, you got to have the right tame of it, but I transmit that to all of my players. We need to. If you're not willing to fight for anything in life, and I'm not meaning go out there and punch up, man. I'm not saying that. I mean, fight, give it your all. Be able to look in the mirror when it's done. You gave it your all, win, loss, or draw. If you're not going to do that, I don't think you can play for my team. You're going to have to leave your pride at the door. I can't lie, my pride's always been there, but there's been teams, I can't lie, boy, where the pride, you have to put that to the side, man. And to be honest, you need to. You need to put your own ego aside to buzz with the collective. I'm not going to be a hero in a sense. I'm not going to try and preach to the deaf, part of my language, because certain people don't want to hear stuff until it's too late. And normally only people can learn something when they go through it. But I'd say calculated, sympathetic, empathetic, someone who facilitates the creative aspect, someone that doesn't try to coach out that streetness that has them in them, but tries to blend that into them and make them a better player. And someone that ultimately just a lovely guy, to be honest with you. I think I'll make a very good coach, to be honest, but seeing is believing. And to be honest with you, I must admit, in the coaching aspect, as much as I have ambitions for it and want to do it, it does look gazy, man, because it's who is going to bring through the thing. I'm trying to get out of this stuff, man. One way or another, I'm going to get out of this thing, man. But I like to think that's what I'd be as a coach, to be honest with you, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I think quite a few of my players would be off to academies, quite a few of my players would improve very quickly, purely because I know what the hell I'm talking about, and if I don't know, I'll make sure I find out very quickly. And because if there's one thing I know in my life or claim to know, it's football. Like, I'm not gonna say I'll pass a football test, but if you were to throw me any subject, I'd be most at home. If you talk to me in any language, it's football that I understand. Like, see what I'm saying? If I was to do any sort of youth work or try and help people, preach people, it'd be through football, because you're seeing with these pressures of life and sadly, all these stabbings and things like that. I'm not even gonna get into all of that. You know what? But on that note, man, there ain't no much more to be said, man. Guys, Deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. Thank you very much for pre the thing. Follow me on my socials, DeludedGuna04, DGuna04 on the Snapchat.